Let us discuss about arrow functions. Arrow functions are another way to declare functions. Here we have a traditional function definition where we have the function keyword and we have one function parameter MSG, and then we have the function body within curly braces. So there are three parts here. One is the function keyword, and then we have the function parameters, and then we have the function body within curly braces. If we want to convert this into an arrow function, we have to do two things. The first is we have to drop the function keyword, and then we have to place an arrow symbol between the function parameters and the function body. So we have placed an arrow symbol between the function parameters and the function body now, and now we have an arrow function. Let's examine the example once again. So we have the traditional function definition here. Let us write the equivalent arrow function. So we have const show message equals, and then next we have to specify the function parameters and then the arrow followed by the function body. So this is the arrow function equivalent of this traditional function definition. Next, let us look at some examples where we will discuss some variations of the arrow functions syntax. But before we go to the examples, a quick side note about where you can practice these examples. You can practice these examples in the browser console. You can reach the browser console by right-clicking on your browser and selecting inspect. And if you go to console, here we can execute JavaScript snippets of code. You can zoom in by pressing Command plus or Control plus. So I have zoomed in a little bit. Here we can execute JavaScript snippets of code. For example, I have assigned two variables A and B with values, and I have used this statement here to compute their sum. And here I am printing the sum. Let us look at one more example. We can even specify function definitions here. Let us write an example. Function show message console.log and message, and let's close the function definition, and let's call this function now. And as you can see, the output will be hello world, which is what we expect. So you can practice JavaScript examples over here. And another place where you can practice examples is codepen.io. This is an online editor for trying out front-end code. So let's click on the start coding button over here, and as you can see, we are shown three panes over here: HTML pane, CSS pane, and JavaScript pane. And below we have the output pane. Let us minimize the HTML and CSS panes so that we have more real estate for the JavaScript pane. You can bring up the console by clicking on the console tab that you can find at the bottom left. Before starting our examples, let us turn off the auto update feature that CodePen gives us by default. Go to behavior and turn off the auto updating preview. Now I have turned off the auto updating preview, and when we do that, we will get a run button on top. And now we are ready to write our examples over here. So this is the example that we discussed earlier. This is the traditional function definition. Let us convert it into an arrow function. As discussed earlier, we have to do two things. We have to remove the function keyword, and then we have to place an arrow symbol between the function parameters and the function body. This is the function body and these are the function parameters, and we have placed the arrow between them. Let's run this example to see if it works, and we get the correct output of hello world. Now this is the basic syntax for arrow functions. There are a few variations that are possible about how we write the function parameters and about how we write the function body. Let us discuss first about the function parameters. If we have only one function parameter in the arrow function, then we can drop the surrounding brackets. So I'm removing the brackets that are surrounding it, and now this is valid syntax also. So let me run it, and as you can see, the example still works. So having a single parameter in your arrow function is a special case where you can drop the brackets. Let's suppose we have a function that does not have any parameters. Let's say we have a function called greet which does not have any parameters. In that case, we have to place the brackets, although they will be empty. So greet is a function that does not take any parameters, but we will have to specify the brackets. So this special syntax where we drop the brackets is only possible when there is only one function parameter. If there are no function parameters like over here, or if there are two or more function parameters, then we will have to specify the brackets. Next, let us discuss about the variations that are possible for the function body. If we have only one statement or one line of code, then we can drop the curly braces. Here we have only one line of code, so we can drop the curly braces. So let's do that. I have removed the curly braces. When we remove the curly braces, we have to place the line of code on the same line as the arrow. So now we have placed the line of code beside the arrow, and let us clear the previous results and execute it. And as you can see, this still works. Let us do the same for the greet function over here. Let us remove the curly braces. Let us pull up the line of code to be beside the arrow, and let us remove the closing curly brace also. Let us call greet here, and let us run the example once again. As you can see, we get the correct output for both the function calls. Now let us discuss an example of a function where we have a return statement. So I have this function called old multiply, which takes in two parameters a and b and returns the product of a and b. Let's write its equivalent arrow function. So const multiply equals the function parameters first, then the arrow, and then the curly braces, and then we'll say return a star b. In the previous example, I had said that if we have only one line of code, we can drop the curly braces. So let's do that. I have removed the opening curly brace and the closing curly brace now, and let's place this line of code beside the arrow, and let's see if this works or not. Let's print the result to the console. Multiply of 2, 3. Let's see if this works. I'm clicking run now, and we get a syntax error saying unexpected token return. This is because when we drop the curly braces, we also have to drop the return keyword. So let us do that, and now this should work. Let us clear this error message and run it once again. And now we see that we get the correct output of 6, which is what we expect. Let us discuss this point once again. If we want our arrow function to return a value, but we are not using curly braces, then we should also not use the return keyword. If we are using the curly braces, then we should use the return keyword. So both of these functions are equivalent, but they're using different syntax. Here we have the curly braces and the return keyword. Here we do not have the curly braces and we do not also have the return keyword. Apart from CodePen.io, there are a few other online editors that you can try as well. One of the famous online editors is jsfiddle.net, and it has a similar interface to what we have seen in CodePen.io. Then there is CodeSandbox.io. Then there is Plunker, plnkr.co. Then there is jsbin.com. You can try some of these other online editors as well to practice JavaScript examples. But also do not forget that you can do the same examples in your browser console.